I'm sorry, little one.
Now, we know that a lot of people have a lot of questions.
Where is the hat, Sam?
Oh, I've forgotten the hat, everybody. There's no hat today, sorry. But, you know, we've heard a lot of questions about the current state of Anthem, and we can neither confirm nor deny the current status of Anthem. It's unofficially dead. It's officially not dead, everybody. So, yes. No?
No. Okay, alright, so Anthem. Now, this is a story that has popped up in the last week, but we were just too busy to
Doing
touch
reviews
it.
and
we
shit,
were doing Endgame, we were doing Days Gone, with Mortal Kombat. It's been a big week.
Yeah.
We thought, well, let's just leave Anthem for a little bit. It'll still be dead when we come back to it. So when
we can beat that horse later.
He's already...
It's already decomposing now.
So
it's not even dead now, it's decomposing.
Let's take it from the top.
Let's do it.
Anthem. Released on February 15th in early access.
Yeah, also known as Meme Day now.
So
that's officially the annual Meme Day.
Woo! It had a few problems in that it was total garbage.
Oh, yes.
And basically every promise that Bioware had made, they did not deliver on, except for the fact that you could fly, and that was pretty cool. Which, as we learned, was actually thanks to EA.
Thank you, Patrick Sutherland.
That's right.
Because he was the one that kept that in.
Correct. So it feels really good to fly around in Anthem. It feels pretty bad to do everything else, basically. The story was terrible, bug infested to the nines, the loot game was almost non-existent. Did I mention the story was terrible? There's only one map and all of it looks the same.
Yeah.
Just bad game.
I remember seeing one of the best comments on our YouTube video ever that the bad guy was called the monitor. Because that's what you look at most of the time, everybody. Because that is the loading screen, okay? And I was like, oh, that is beautiful. You know what? No one else said that. That's our idea, okay?
That's right.
So that we made that, and that's our meme now, everybody.
So let's negotiate. It's in the game.
When that came out, I think there were a lot of people that were very optimistic about Anthem's future, and they were like, "Oh, well, look, all live service games launch shit, so therefore we should cut this some slack because it's par for course."
Which is actually sadly pretty true. Apart from maybe the latest Division, it was a pretty solid, product.
Correct. From the start, though, I was like, "No, I don't think this is the same. I think this is well more balked." Any other live service game that's been released.
Yeah.
So I immediately predicted, I think this is fucked. But anyway, that was at the start of the whole cycle, okay?
Yeah.
It's a live service game, which means that of course it has a roadmap, right?
I had a goddamn plan!
What is it? Don't die?
Roadmaps for the live service genre are like the snake oil
Yeah.
of the thing. They're like, hey, step right up. I've got a broken video game for you, but would you like my roadmap? You know what I mean? Like, it's all bullshit at this point.
I don't think I've ever seen a game actually deliver the roadmap on time, and it's like, it's all there.
I mean,
okay, can you think of one that's like, oh, here's all the stuff that you promised a year down the road, it's all here and it's all on time.
Destiny 2's done a good job of its roadmap in terms of delivering stuff on time and pretty high quality.
They had their own problems, man.
Oh, they
had their own goddamn problems. If they delivered the
know.
roadmap, that's like the least of the good things they could have done.
So the roadmap for Anthem had a whole bunch of stuff on there. It had things like a mastery system, which was kind of like a talent tree for your character, allowing for more customization. It had leaderboards, it had guilds, it had improvements to the loot game, it had new strongholds, new events, and also something called cataclysms, which were new endgame activities, but we don't know what they are at all. We just know that they're those like Shaper Storm things and you fly into them and that's it, okay? So all this stuff was promised and it was all meant to start flowing in April.
Sure, and all 4 people that are still playing this game are very excited for this content.
They were.
You know, I mean, I know that they are. You go on Reddit, it's about 4 people now that talk about this game, for God's sakes.
Is there anyone alive out there?
So this week what happened was that basically all of that roadmap, which was meant to start flowing here, has been delayed. And not only delayed, like delayed indefinitely. They haven't actually provided any dates for when this stuff is coming.
Yeah.
They did actually release a new stronghold, which the community is not happy with because it's really inefficient, and they actually prefer to farm the older Heart of Rage stronghold because it's the best chance to get loot. They released a few live events, and that's it.
That's it.
And everything else that we just talked about has been delayed indefinitely.
It feels like, look, it's one thing to kind of push things back, but at the same time, you've got to give the community a sense of hope that it is in fact coming. But it really sounds like it almost sounds like they're testing the community to see how much they give a shit. Because I think that if we really look at this, I mean, oh man, I don't think that EA would really be putting more than a skeleton staff on this game now, and I don't think that we're going to see most, if not all of this stuff, because it's smart business, people. It's smart business to look at a product and go, okay, is it successful? Do we have an opportunity to make more money off it? I think EA and Bioware have also seen that live services are a fucking lot of work, you know? It's the first live service for Bioware, and I'm sure that EA's like, we thought we would make a lot more money, but we're not. They might look at this and go, you know what, guys, it's time to fucking put a skeleton staff, and we're not going to deliver this shit because no one gives a shit.
Peter, I want you to get your knife.
What?
Just do as I say. Cut me loose.
No.
Stop it, no!
Cut the damn rope! Cut it!
Do it!
Doesn't matter about me! Just cut it!
No!
We're running out of time here!
Don't do it,
Just
Peter!
cut it! Nobody's gonna blame you for it! Just cut it, Peter!
No!
We're gonna die!
No!
How many of you are gonna die? Just cut it, Peter!
I think that's definitely a potential. I
think
think that
more than a potential.
No, I think for they had the live stream recently, or this week actually, and it was really funny because basically they were like, guys, here's what's happening with our game. We've got all these plans to do stuff in the future. No date on that. We've got a new stronghold we're releasing today, and we only want to talk about the new stronghold. And the problem with Anthem is that the loot game is fucked. So the entire Twitch chat was just spammed with
loot
like
chat.
loot. And the developers were getting really mad because they're like, why isn't anyone asking about level design? You know? And it was just kind of like, Woody is only here to speak about ramparts.
I don't know if anyone
Like,
will get that reference.
people
though.
will get the Woody
Alright.
Harrelson ramparts Reddit thread.
We will
meme.
pin the comment, everybody.
So, and there was also one really cringe moment where like they finish this activity and then like they get 4 epic drops, and then there's just like this silence on the stream.
So
It's
like,
kinda like,
yeah.
Just open it and then back away really quick. You'll see the run. All right. So how much is there? There just one. This is the last room before the boss, right?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay.
because that 4 epics, by the way, is garbage. Like,
So,
no
like,
one wants that.
If we look at Fallout 76, for instance, I mean, I think it's the same thing, people. Are we really going to be seeing a fully realized roadmap of that game? No, we're not going to be seeing that. I think that is going to be
On life support.
Yeah, it's going to be on life support forever, but like there are different games out there that have risen from the ashes and have delivered, you know, later on their promises, and the game has been rebuilt because of that. Like No Man's Sky, for instance, right? I still think it's a bit of a meme, but the bottom line is that totally delivered on actually creating a game that people came back to. I mean, like, you know, Siege or Destiny or Warframe, like, they've all risen from the ashes from a pretty broken game. But with this, like, you know, they can do whatever they want. But, dude, I don't think this game's coming back, personally.
There's this quote from that I'll read from Forbes, from Paul Tassi, who's a friend of mine, actually. I'll read out what he said because I think it really sums it up. I've been one of Anthem's most prominent optimists despite my criticism, but something feels different now. The winds have changed. The oxygen has been sucked out of the room. It feels like there's just too much wrong with Anthem to fix it. And even if many looter-shooters struggle in their early days, we're in a spot where things feel worse than we ever saw with Diablo, Destiny, or The Division. Yeah, I think that really sums up how I felt about Anthem from the very start. Because when I looked at this game, I'm like, this game is really fucked, you know? And to be able to get this game to the point where it's not fucked is a way larger journey than those other games had to go through. And I think, you know, if you look at something like The Division and Destiny and Warframe, etc., you got the feeling that the developer was all in.
Sure.
And they were like, no matter what, we're going to make this happen. And immediately with Anthem, it's feeling like Bioware's not that. It feels like they're just pulling off the accelerator, and they're like, you know, we're winding this back, people. You know, you don't feel that same do or die kind of mentality coming from Bioware.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it really comes down to, does the game have good bones, you know? And I think if we look at other games like Siege, Division, you know, Warframe or whatever, like, they had good bones, they had good stuff to work with, and I think the developers, you know, felt that yes, we did have a good game, we just have to work on this. And maybe from the recent article from Jason Schreier, like, it sounds like even there wasn't a lot of confidence internally about, like, what the hell is this game? So I'm sure that they're looking at this and going, they might not even be confident about this, their own game that they've made. And I think if the developer is not confident, then of course the community is not going to be confident. So I think that, you know, yeah, it's just going to be a situation where if you do not have good bones, like, you know, yeah, Diablo 3 did. It had good bones. If you do not have those good bones, I do not see a redemption path there. And with Anthem, I think the only smart business practice here is, of course, to wind this shit up, baby, and move on to new titles like that. You know, they've already kind of hinted that they are going to be doing a new Mass Effect. They're doing a Dragon Age. Like, they've got other stuff in the pipeline. Just fucking work on that.
Yeah,
Totally.
and also it frees up the development staff to not get, like, spanked with crunch and, like, you know...
Well, that's probably going to happen again. Let's face it. Like, they always say it's going to change.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
never changes. Even this week, we had like Fortnite. You know, Epic Games. It's been revealed that they're constantly crunching their staff at like 100 hours a week. Every AAA game studio is doing like ridiculous amounts of crunch. It's just par for course. So, you know, Bioware certainly aren't special, but it sounds worse in this instance because at least Fortnite was popular and successful. That made them a lot of money. But Anthem is just like, they worked really hard and they produced... I feel bad for the man. I feel bad.
But I feel like, you know, to answer the question of is Anthem actually dead, I really think it comes back to the developer. Does EA think it's dead? Does Bioware think it's dead? Well, the internal kind of stuff that we saw, the roadmap, you know, the level of intensity now that we are seeing put into this game in terms of like the roadmap and where everything's being placed, it doesn't seem like everyone involved, community, developer, and EA, like, doesn't seem like everyone's involved now. It just seems like everyone's like, okay, let's just move on, you know? So I really do think this game in the next 6 months will just drop off. And that's the best thing for it, you know? Just fucking start fresh. That's what I think.
Well, I'm sorry, Bioware, that we weren't talking more about level design in this video. It was meant to be a level design focused video, but we got, you know, distracted.
Yeah.
We promise that the next time we talk about Anthem will be entirely about level design. Until then, this is the Laymen signing out.
せーのでもそんなんじゃダメもうそんなんじゃほら心